It's leveling out. Boom. Yeah, we back. Sorry about that. And I hate that. That creates like a whole new YouTube stream and shit. Let's get to the rest of this news. Now that it seems like somebody's trying to stop me. You'll never stop the news. We're going to the crime section of the show. We got some really horrific shit. Yeah, Smokey might go by my head at 100 miles an hour tonight because it's apparently a full moon, or it's going to be a full moon on Easter or some shit. I don't know. Yesterday, some sheriffs with the LA County Sheriff's Department got ambushed.
For that breaking news, LA County deputies are shot at as they respond to a call in East LA.
The gunshots led to a tense standoff that actually turned deadly. We have Gigi Graciette live in East LA with the story. Good morning, Gigi.
Good morning. The investigation continues here on Downey Road. Take a look. We're actually on the corner of Noakes and Downey Road.
I think Sparkles just told me that a cat comes by her porch to smoke marijuana with her. Because she doesn't smoke cigarettes, so she's telling me she's smoking outside. I'm going to assume it's marijuana. She does puff the pussy sticks. I've got to follow up.
Shooting happening at a home in the middle of the block there. And it all started, the Sheriff's Department says, with a 911 call for help. That call triggered a response from deputies, and as you heard,
their name is Bojack. I don't know if this. I'm sorry. I can't even concentrate on this. I don't know if the cat's real. She may be imagining a cat. Maybe it's got a magical pipe. I'm sorry. I've gotta know. Is the cat smoking you out? Come on, stream and tell us. The chat wants to know. I bet the cat's not real.
Breaking news, LA County deputies are shot at as they respond to a call in East LA.
The gunshots led to a tense standoff that actually turned deadly. We have Gigi Graciette live in East LA with the story. Good morning, Gigi.
Are they a gang or are the cops a gang?
The investigation continues here on Downey Road. Take a look. We're actually on the corner of Noakes and Downey Road. The shooting happening at a home in the middle of the block there. And it all started, the Sheriff's Department says, with a 911 call for help. That call triggered a response from deputies, and as you heard there, they say they were met with gunfire. It started just before 2 o'clock again on Downey Road here in East Los Angeles. The gunfire so intense it actually pinned down 2 deputies, and with rounds still coming in, the East LA station rolled out their Bearcat. That's their armored rescue vehicle to help shield deputies and get them to safety. According to the Sheriff's Department, that suspect just kept firing, and there was a lot of concern because inside the home at the time, there was a relative of that suspect. The deputies returned fire eventually, and that suspect is now dead. It will be up to the medical examiner to determine if it was the gunfire from the deputies that killed him or whether he took his own life, as he had indicated he might do during the 911 call. The Sheriff's Department is investigating, and this investigation will eventually also be reviewed by the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office and the Office of the Inspector General. The medical examiner, of course, will play a key role in this. As for the suspect, he has not yet been identified. It does believe, the Sheriff's Department do believe that he lives here on Downey Road, and they're looking at several possibilities in their lines of investigation, whether the call was just a pretext call to ambush and hurt deputies, or whether this suspect wanted deputies to fire at him in what's commonly known as suicide by cop. Reporting live this morning from East Los Angeles, I'm Gigi Graciette. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Gigi, thank you.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, take as many cops as you can with you. Only one good kind of cop. The cat smokes, begs and circles me. I blow smoke on Kitty. Kitty tries to get inside my mouth. Kitty is a real Bojack. Smokes a joint. Bojack hunts lizards at night and roams free. I'm skipping that one. Let's skip that. The next several stories are egregious cop misbehavior. If you're into that sort of thing, it's very egregious. When I say egregious, I mean very egregious. First up, Hartford, Connecticut. The mayor of Hartford has fired a police officer who fatally shot a man last month.
Mayor of Hartford fires an officer who shot and killed a man during a mental health call.
Of course.
Thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Keisha Grant.
And I'm Mike Heidick. The mayor says the actions of that officer did not meet the standards for the department.
Now his fellow officers are calling for him to get his job back.
NBC Connecticut's Matt Austin is live in Hartford with reaction tonight. Matt?
Yeah, so Mike and Keisha, the mayor says he fired the officer during his probationary period because he fell short of professional standards. But the police union fired back, calling the mayor a coward, and warned there could be some dark times coming for the city.
Firing one police officer is not justice. We have one more to go.
Today, protesters calling for more police accountability following Hartford Mayor Runan Arlampalon firing the police officer who shot and killed a man last month. Several officers had been dealing with a man reportedly holding a knife and dealing with a mental health crisis on Blue Hills Avenue.
Drop the knife!
Officer Joseph Magnano arrived later, and as the man approached him, ordered him to drop the knife and then shot 9 times.
Officer Magnano came in, sirens blazing. He came in and from the video appears to have re-escalated the situation and made it worse.
A funeral was held yesterday.
And I've seen that scenario too many times.
Among those who attended was the Reverend Al Sharpton, who today applauded the officer's termination. Previously, Magnano had been on paid administrative leave. On Monday, protesters interrupted the mayor's State of the City address to call for the firing of Officer Magnano and a second officer who shot and killed another man last month. The police union worries about the signal the firing will send to people thinking about becoming officers in the city, and they're also calling for the officer to be reinstated.
You're worried about the signal it might send that cops can't just murder citizens? You're worried? That's exactly the signal I want it to send, you goddamn motherfuckers. Fuck you. See, I've said this before. I understand a cop's job entirely. you've got to have a psychopath. You got to have somebody who's willing to pull the trigger at a moment's notice, and that person is bound to be at least like sociopathic tendencies, right? So the trade-off is that you then have to keep cops on a really short leash. You can't treat them as if everything they do is honorable. Like we can't lionize cops because they're just shitty human beings by the nature of having to do the job that they do. Keep them on a really, really tight leash. Very, very little slack. Don't give most of them guns. Limit the power they have.
This is a tragedy of justice and process. Our mayor caved to political pressure. He is a coward. He is devoid of any semblance of leadership or manhood.
Oh my God, dude. No, you let me tell you, shooting a man having a mental health crisis, that's a fucking coward. The cop you're defending is a fucking coward. That is a man without any balls. And I applaud the mayor's decision.
There are dark times coming.
Now, Attorney Crump called the firing an important step toward accountability, but they are still pressing for answers and changes. A town hall about public safety is scheduled with the mayor at the library behind us at 6:30. Live in Hartford, Matt Austin, NBC Connecticut News. Guys, back to you.
And it hurts my heart to go against a union. That dude doing the job that a union rep should absolutely do for all his union members. However, cops aren't human, so... I don't think they should have unions. This is the one... that's hard for me to say. It's the one sector that shouldn't have a union. And it bothers me. That's like the one sector they don't union bust. Wonder why that is. In Arizona, a sheriff's deputy has been fired after he apparently tried to have sex with a suspect he was detaining.
Tonight, an Arizona sheriff's deputy has been fired and arrested, accused of asking a suspect to have sex with him as he was transporting her to jail.
12 News journalist Chase Golightly is here after going through all the arrest documents. And Chase, prosecutors say he may have done this before.
Mark Creepy, that's right, but this is still all under investigation. But allegations in this case are serious. A deputy using his position of power for sex.
Pima County Sheriff's Deputy Travis Reynolds now sitting in an orange jumpsuit. The 22-year-old accused of sexual misconduct while on duty.
This particular offense that is alleged is very, very concerning.
According to arrest documents, on March 19th, Reynolds was transporting a woman to the Pima County Jail when he started making comments about her appearance, calling her hot. Once they arrived to the jail and parked, the documents claim Reynolds told the woman while they were both still in the deputy's cruiser, he could help get her out of her case. He then said they could go to a hotel to have sex or she could perform oral sex on him. When she didn't respond, he asked again. Reynolds then reportedly showed her several videos on his cell phone of a man and woman having sex. What? The victim believing the man in the video was Reynolds. She told investigators during this whole process she felt awful and terrible, asking Reynolds repeatedly to take her inside the jail, but he refused. Until the documents claim Reynolds asked the victim to show him her breasts, which she did. After 2 hours of being in the car together, security camera footage shows Reynolds walk the woman into jail.
The victim in this case is very afraid of this defendant because of that power position that he had, of the power dynamics, and that he might retaliate against her.
The Tucson Police Department started its investigation. When they questioned Reynolds, he didn't deny the allegations, only saying it may or may not have happened. However, he also said there was a conversation about an arrangement for them to have sex, but that was brought on by her. Reynolds is facing a kidnapping charge and was given a bond of $200,000.
Now, a spokesperson with the Pima County Sheriff's Department said they were notified by the Tucson Police Department of Reynolds' arrest and fired him.
I can't believe they gave him a kidnapping charge.
Chase, thanks.
I expected it to be some false imprisonment or something like that, more minor. This one is incredibly sickening. You don't hate cops enough.
Also, now to a disturbing story in Coral Springs. A couple facing child abuse charges.
Accused of locking a child in a room for years. Local 10's Christian De La Rosa is live in Coral Springs with more details on this story. That Christian, apparently this is very hard to hear.
Well, and adding to the horrifying charge, we just confirmed with BSO that one of the parents arrested here is actually a lieutenant with fire rescue. So let me show you the mugshots here for Joe Connors and Jennifer Connor. Both of them are charged with aggravated child abuse
even more
against their
disappointing.
12-year-old daughter. We just heard from the judge this morning detailing this charge. I want you to take a listen.
You allegedly got a 12-year-old child who is locked in a room for upwards of 3 years and is forced to urinate and defecate in the room and then clean it up with her clothes. That is not a religious issue. That's something else.
Religious
And you
assholes.
heard right there the details, horrifying. And you also heard him allude to what the couple's attorney was saying, trying to talk about the good character of this couple, saying that they are devout Christians. We actually went to the couple's neighborhood, spoke to a few of his neighbors, one of them speaking to us on camera, reacting to the charge. I want you to take a listen.
It's not true. It's not true.
The accusations are that one of their children was locked up in a room for years.
That's a lie. It's not true.
And forced to go to the bathroom in the room.
That's not true. That's not true. It's not true. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
The neighbors
I don't think she was credible.
saying that they are completely shocked at what we are hearing.
I don't think you should have put her on camera, dude.
Again, this couple still in jail. The judge setting their bonds at $100,000. BSO
Yeah, it was
also
one of her
telling us that
church buddies.
Lieutenant Joel Connert with Fire Rescue was hired in 2010. He is currently on administrative leave without pay. Live in Coral Springs, I'm Christian De La Rosa, Local 10 News.
Wow, and the reaction is so interesting and disturbing as well. Okay, thank you so much,
That woman had
Christian.
mental issues, though. She should not have been used on camera. Fuck, I'm gonna if I want to work for TMZ, I'm gonna have to drop that kind of journalistic ethics. Not gonna be able to say shit like, "Oh, I can't show that mentally handicapped woman on." Silent, welcome in. Clinically, I don't know if you were here for it, Harvey Levin from TMZ. He's decided he's going to expand into doing political coverage. It's now my dream job. I want to be the DC bureau chief for TMZ. Tell me I don't fit that. I've got the portfolio for it. He just said it like a couple of hours ago. And like he didn't even say like, "Oh, it's a position, we're going to take applications." He just said, "Oh, we're expanding into doing politics." So, that's my dream job. It didn't exist. It probably still doesn't exist. But I think I'd be perfect for it. I'd send them videos of the Troll Patrol. Because that's even what he says, like, we'll have a little fun, but we'll also do some serious stories. That's, you just described the Troll Patrol. I have a goal now. This happened in Colorado. Arrest warrants have been issued for the Castilla County Sheriff. The sheriff. Warrant has been issued for the sheriff and several of his deputies.
Let's get you straight to our big story in southern Colorado tonight, where Castilla County Sheriff Danny Sanchez and 4 of his former and
he's a
current
dirty
deputies
Sanchez, you say?
in a new set of criminal indictments today. They're all facing some disturbing allegations, ranging from official misconduct to abuse of a corpse. A pattern of allegations
Why? Why does it always come back to corpse fucking on this show? Every time.
County Sheriff Danny Sanchez and 4 of his former and current deputies were charged in a new set of criminal indictments today. They're all facing some disturbing allegations, ranging from official misconduct to abuse of a corpse. A pattern of allegations we've been digging into since
hold on. It might not have been like a rape of a corpse because they are cops. They might have mishandled a corpse after it died in their jail or something like that. The suspect died in their jail and then they tried to burn it afterwards or something like that.
Summer. KRDO 13 investigator Michael Lagerwell.
I jumped to conclusions with the corpse fucking. That's just usually what it is.
Sheriff
Usually
Sanchez
when you hear abuse of a corpse, somebody has stuck a dick in the orifice. Whether already existing or a made orifice. God, why? Every time.
Deputies have bonded or are bonding out of jail following Friday's concerning indictment. However, multiple Castilla County residents have reached out to KRDO 13 Investigates to tell us that these charges are long overdue.
No citizen of the San Luis Valley should have any doubts about the integrity of their police force. This office is not afraid to defend that trust.
On Friday,
the beauty of the shot, the integrity. Talk about the integrity of the police force as we're looking at the sign with the U completely askew.
Force. This office is not afraid to defend that trust.
It's shit like that that does make me think that there might be a God.
Announced the stunning indictment
It's too
of
beautiful.
4 current and 1 former member of the Castilla County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Danny Sanchez, Under Sheriff Cruz Soto, Sergeant
Like
Caleb
Leering
Sanchez,
Center.
former Deputy Keith Schultz, and current Deputy Riley Rowland, not pictured, although he has been booked by authorities in Pueblo. Between them, nearly 20 charges stemming from a pair of incidents.
My office fully supports law enforcement in the San Luis Valley. But in order to support these honorable and brave men and women, I cannot and will not ignore violations of the trust that a community should have in their police.
Sheriff Sanchez and former Deputy Schultz are each facing 4 counts of official misconduct and 1 count of abusing a corpse, stemming from an incident where a landowner found human remains on his property. The indictment says Sheriff Sanchez was briefly on the scene for the collection of the remains, but seemed more interested in looking for arrowheads. The indictment goes on to say that the sheriff's office only collected the skull at the scene, none of the teeth, which have since been lost. The skull, which was placed in a used paper shopping bag, according to the complaint, was also temporarily misplaced.
Okay, I completely misguessed. Putting evidence in a shopping bag was not Yeah, that could be abuse of a corpse too. That was not on my bingo card.
According to the indictment. As for Under Sheriff Cruz Soto and Sergeant Caleb Sanchez, they're each facing multiple counts of assault after the indictment charged they tased a man multiple times without warning when he was not under arrest. The use of force document for that incident not written up until the district attorney questions its absence more than a month later. One big question on the minds of residents now is, in an emergency, they dial 911, who will come out?
There is no mechanism with these indictments that authorizes the removal of the sheriff from office.
KRDO 13 Investigates asked the Castilla County Commissioners who attended the press conference if they would call on Sheriff Sanchez to resign.
We just learned of the indictment when everybody else learned about it this afternoon. So I think it's a bit premature to call for the resignation.
KRDO 13 Investigates.
So there's probably a city inside of that county, and they'll or maybe even a city and a couple little townships or whatever that have one or two cops. They'll respond out into the county, probably. If it's a really big county, they might get the surrounding counties to pitch in and oh hey, will you come over this far and will you come over this far and respond to calls.
Has attempted to reach Castilla County Sheriff Danny Sanchez multiple times to ask him about these indictments, but we have not heard back. And of course, we will keep you up to date on any new developments in this story. Reporting in Castilla County, Michael Lagerwell, KRDO 13 Investigates.
Now, just a reminder, if you missed any of today's announcements regarding Sheriff Danny Sanchez, we've got
the dirty Sanchez. And I knew that information because we just did a story about a township which dissolved their police department 2 weeks ago. For being corrupt. They dissolved their police department for being corrupt. In Grand Rapids, Michigan, family is speaking out after their home was damaged by the Grand Rapids Police Department. They came in and abused an elderly couple.
First at 6 o'clock, a family wants answers after an elderly couple's home was ransacked by Grand Rapids police over the weekend. It happened after officers responded to reports of an assault in the neighborhood. Today, 13 On Your Side's Lauren Baker went through the home and spoke to the family.
So they responded to a report of an assault by going and assaulting a couple old people.
They say they want to know why it had to happen like this.
Outside the Liptrop's family home.
Oh, we were supposed to be preventing an assault? Or arresting somebody for... I thought we were supposed to go and commit an assault. That's what I thought an assault call was.
Paints a picture of peace, love, and family. But inside...
This was set up. This was my dad's office. It was set up like an office. It was nothing like this.
Paints a different story.
It's just sad. Just knowing that half of the stuff that he has won't be here when he returns.
That's Michelle Armstrong talking about her parents, Carol and John Liptrop Sr.'s home of 31 years, she says, destroyed after Grand Rapids police ransacked their home on Sunday. She describes not only the experience her parents went through.
My dad is 89. My mom is 73. My mother can barely walk. And for you to just snatch her and drag her down the stairs, I'm glad I wasn't here to see it.
But also the mess left inside the home.
The cop's ass.
Turned over. The table thrown upside down.
And the remnants of the pepper ball spray left in the air.
Pepper balls.
I'm sneezing. I'm coughing. My nose is raw. My lungs are hurting. You can't stand there very long.
Grand Rapids Police says officers responded to the home for a report of a domestic assault call where at one point a man was seen strangling a woman outside the home. When officers tried to get the couple to come up from the basement inside the home, the male suspect claimed to have a gun and threatened police. That's when officials obtained a search warrant, entered the home, and removed the victim. The suspect, who Armstrong identifies as her brother, was not found. Armstrong says she understands police have to do their job, but questions if it had to be done like this.
I don't take away from that. You have to do your job, but you didn't have to do it so violently. My parents are my best friends, so to see my mom in the state that she was in, It was hurtful to know I couldn't get to her.
Kent County Commissioner Robert Romack says this isn't the first time a home has been ransacked like this in Grand Rapids.
From over 15 families I've heard, we don't live in squalor. If we let the news in, they're going to think this is how we were living, and this is how people think of our community.
Which is why Armstrong says she wanted to share her parents' story.
It was heartbreaking to see my parents like that. I never seen my dad cry. Until that day, I seen my dad cry.
As she and her family clean up what's left and try to move on.
Lauren joins us now. Lauren, has the Grand Rapids Interim Police Chief Joe Trigg spoken about this?
He has, Juliet. In a statement, he says in part, quote, "Our highest priority was saving the victim's life and doing everything we could to get the suspect into custody safely. Officers could not, in good conscience, allow the elderly couple back into the home without a thorough search. And due to some ongoing renovations in the home, there were areas behind the drywall and other atypical locations where an adult could be hiding. That required investigation. This is not an attempt to avoid accountability for the damage that occurred." We'll have that full statement on our website, 13onyourside.com. Juliet.
Yeah, there's a big part of the story that was left out there. Let's do some more elder abuse by the cops, shall we? This one's in Tennessee. A woman has finally been released after being held wrongfully thanks to AI facial recognition software. It's coming to your neighborhood.
Tonight, a Tennessee grandmother demanding justice after spending months in jail, wrongfully arrested, she says, after an AI tool falsely linked her to bank fraud. 50-year-old Angela Lips says she was babysitting in Elizabethton, Tennessee last July when armed federal agents showed up and arrested her. More than 1,000 miles away, the Fargo and West Fargo police departments have been investigating a string of bank fraud incidents where they say a suspect was using a fake military ID to withdraw thousands of dollars. And AI software known as Clearview AI was used to help crack the case, or so they thought. West Fargo investigators said the technology identified a potential suspect with similar features to Angela Lips.
They, through their AI system, made that identification of Miss Lips. They forwarded that information to our detectives, who then assumed, wrongly, that they had also sent in the surveillance photos with that photo ID.
Lips, who says she's never been to North Dakota, was arrested for the crime, spending months in jail before an attorney was able to use bank records to prove she was in Tennessee the whole time.
They charged her North Dakota a nationwide warrant based on extremely limited evidence that didn't connect her to the crime and didn't address basic questions. They dragged her to North Dakota. They weren't able to connect the stolen money to Angela in any way.
Ultimately, the charges against Lips were dismissed.
How rare is something like this?
Not rare.
Unfortunately, it's not rare at all. For many places, it's a Wild West. And in the absence of strong rules and guardrails, you see mistakes like this because there simply isn't a proper set of procedures for how you're supposed to handle these new technologies.
Clearview AI says its technology generates leads. It
You're
does
not
not
supposed
make
to use AI, I would think.
Or recommend arrests. Police in Fargo say they're
It's
working to
dystopian.
update its policy on the use of AI
should
and
outlaw
facial
it.
recognition tools, and that the investigation isn't over.
We're happy to acknowledge when we make errors, and we've made a few in this case for sure.
Meanwhile, Lip says that one mistake cost her
That
everything.
poor woman.
Kathy Park joins us now. Kathy, is the woman arrested in this case planning to pursue any legal action against authorities in North Dakota?
Yeah, Tom, so her
I
attorneys are
hope
now...
so, but it's an uphill battle. And even if she was to get a payout, it's going to be years from now in order for her to get anything from them. At best, she might get a settlement in a year or two.
Looking into possible civil rights violations, and a lawsuit is likely, but they're still gathering information and building her case. But Tom, as a result of sitting in jail for months, Angela says she lost just about
Probably
everything.
lost her job, her house.
She's now living with her neighbors. An online fundraiser has been created for her. It's already raised over $70,000.
Think about it. Think if you're living like most people paycheck to paycheck or even less than paycheck to paycheck, and you're in jail for 2 fucking months, miss your fucking car payment, your rent payment, your mortgage payment, you fucking lose your job, like you would lose literally everything. This poor woman.
Story is definitely gaining more traction.
We thank you for watching, and remember,
Shut up,
stay
Tom
updated
Llama.
on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
Bring back Lester. Seven months? That's absurd. I don't even know how 7 months is possible, because I can understand a judge, and like, I don't understand it, but I could totally see a judge not, like, you know, letting anybody plead their case in an arraignment. But you're going to have a pretrial conference, a preliminary hearing or something within a month, in which a judge should have immediately let her out, because it should have been very obvious to them. 7 months there's so much neglect going on there. We go to Florida, where a boxer who was somewhat famous, apparently, charged in a South Florida courtroom. They have surveillance video.
And now to new video after boxer Gervonta Davis was arrested after a domestic violence incident.
It happened last year at a strip club in Miami Gardens. Local 10's Jeff Derderian live in Miami with more of this surveillance video. Jeff.
Yeah, we thought this brawler boxer would have to go before the bench today. Eric, turns out Gervonta Davis did not have to appear. Turns out, though, there's plenty of legal fighting going on over this remarkable video. Take a look. The video is from October 2025 inside a gentleman's club in Miami Gardens. Cops say it shows Davis forcefully grabbing a woman by the neck and pushing her down a hallway and then into a stairway leading to a parking garage. The alleged victim is Davis's former girlfriend. Davis's attorney in court today saying he's got evidence, a lot of it he claims, to show his client is innocent, and he wants a meeting now with prosecutors.
I mean, that looked like assault to me. False imprisonment.
He does admit the video, yeah, it doesn't look good for his client. He wishes it didn't exist, but he says we are not hearing the whole story.
Is he grabbing her by the neck in the video? Do you see that?
We'll put it this way. I don't want to put words into your mouth, all right?
I'm asking you a question. Do you see him grabbing her neck in the video?
The video speaks for itself. The video speaks for itself. However, what you guys may or may not know, okay, is that within an hour or so after that video was made, okay, she went home with him.
The defense attorney goes on to say, in his words, this is a shakedown.
There was a demand from the alleged victim for $1.1 million in order to make this thing go away.
The alleged victim's attorney. You're saying there's no injuries? He's a boxer. He's a tough guy. He didn't hit her at all?
There is no indication by anybody that he struck her, punched her at all.
All right, Davis is facing a kidnapping and a battery charge. There was a false imprisonment charge. The defense attorney tells me that's gone. It's been thrown out. Now, we did reach out to the alleged victim's attorney, trying to get their side of the story. To what this defense attorney is saying is a shakedown. That's his words, not ours. We haven't heard anything back. For now, we're live in Miami-Dade. Jeff Derderian, Local 10 News.
Jeff Derderian, we've had him pop up before, haven't we? Because it was somebody that had an accent, and they were like, Jeff Derderian. It was just like last week. I remember that name. Who, Jeff Derderian? Well, you got beef with Jeff Derderian? I told you guys at the top of the show, it's a bad episode if you are a fan of Bob's Burgers or Fleetwood Mac. the voice actor who plays Gene involved in a fiery crash in New Hampshire.
Eugene Merman is recovering from a near-death experience. The Bob's Burgers star, who's voiced Eugene Belcher in over 300 episodes of the beloved animated series, was hospitalized after being pulled from the fiery wreckage of a New Hampshire car crash on March 31st. The 51-year-old's rep tells Variety in an April 1st statement, Eugene was in a very scary car accident. He wants to thank the bystanders, state police.
Fuck. Very scary indeed. It was the security detail for the New Hampshire. It was either the governor or the lieutenant governor's office that rescued him from this crash. He might have died. Shit.
Fiery wreckage of a New Hampshire car crash on March 31st. The 51-year-old's rep tells Variety in an April 1st statement, Eugene was in a very scary car accident. He wants to thank the bystanders, state police, first responders, and hospital staff who saved him. He is grateful to be on the mend. The spokesperson adds, at this time, we kindly ask for privacy for Eugene and his family as he focuses on recovering from his injuries. The crash occurred around 11:55 a.m. when a 2026 Lucid Gravity driven by Merman struck Bedford Toll Plaza, according to a New Hampshire State Police press release. Authorities said 911 callers indicated that the car caught fire and someone in the vehicle appeared to be trapped. As officers rushed to the scene, a veteran state trooper assigned to the governor of New Hampshire's security detail came upon the crash and jumped into action, pulling Merman from the burning car through a window, per police. The voice actor, who is the only occupant of the vehicle, was transported to a local hospital with serious injuries, according to authorities.
Vehicle?
Police said they are choosing not to identify Merman's rescuer by name due to the nature of their position. A cause of the crash has not been disclosed. No charges have been filed at this time, but authorities noted that the crash remains under investigation.
So he's just hit the concrete just right. Spark hit the right place on the battery, boom. Alien, welcome in. Got a vape, you say? I'll vape with you. I thought it was going dead, and I took a really big hit. That was too much. Tentacle Girl, welcome in. I'm glad Gene's gonna be okay. Should we watch a Bob's Burgers or two after the show? Or after the news? Maybe Fleetwood Mac for Live Music Monday. Lindsey Buckingham assaulted in Southern California.
Legendary Fleetwood Mac guitarist Lindsey Buckingham attacked in Santa Monica. And tonight, police say they know who the suspect is and that she may have been in contact with Buckingham in the past.
That suspect.
So they were fucking. And what'd Lindsey do to her? Because Lindsey's apparently a piece of shit.
Spoke out to KTLA with her side of the story. KTLA Sandra Mitchell live in Santa Monica with more on the investigation. Sandra.
Micah, it has now been 1 week since Lindsey Buckingham was ambushed here in Santa Monica. Now, investigators are telling us that they know who this suspect is. Still, they have not arrested her. But tonight, we were able to reach out, contact, and actually talk with the alleged attacker. On the streets of Santa Monica, another celebrity targeted by an attacker. 76-year-old former Fleetwood Mac guitarist Lindsey Buckingham last week had a scary encounter with a stalker. In 2024, an LA County judge ordered Michelle Ditt to stay away.
That picture of him on the billboard, he's doing cat eyes now.
encounter with a stalker. In 2024, an LA County judge ordered Michelle Dick to stay away from Buckingham. Tonight, Dick admitted to KTLA she did approach Buckingham last Wednesday and had previously gone to his LA home.
One time, that was at last year, but I didn't know how to have a restraining order on me.
The LAPD confirms in the March 25th incident, the woman tossed an unknown substance at Buckingham. He was not injured. As of late tonight, Dick told us she was still living in her car and had not been arrested.
If this known stalker is the person that assaulted or allegedly assaulted Mr. Buckingham, she is looking at some serious time in the state prison.
Wait a minute, how did Nicki Minaj get involved in this?
Nicki Minaj's Hidden Hills mansion was targeted by a trespasser who was arrested. Many already concerned about celebrity security lapses after a Florida woman was arrested last month for firing an automatic rifle at singer Rihanna's.
Listen, I am not concerned with celebrity security. The least of my concerns. I know this is the LA news, but no, least of my concerns. But how dare you shoot up Rihanna's home right in front of Rihanna and her fish?
Lee Crest home while Rihanna and her family were inside. In that case, 35-year-old Ivana Ortiz is in custody, charged with attempted murder.
Surprised me. I thought it was going to be a rude boy.
And yes, the Lindsey Buckingham incident happened here in Santa Monica, but LAPD is the lead agency on this because they say the suspect was linked to other incidents in LA, and they do expect
suspect
to
saying, "Bitch, better have my money."
We're live tonight in Santa Monica. I'm Sandra Mitchell, KTLA 5 News. Cher and Micah. Back
Maybe
to
she
you.
wanted a refund on her Finny. I said that like a redneck too. Fenty. I said that like a real redneck. Which one? I'm not proud of any of it. Remember that brawl that happened in Cincinnati last year? I think it was last year. It caused a big uproar because like some white dude was being racist and dropping N-bombs and he got his ass kicked, and all right-wing media was asking for the black people to be arrested. I think one of the white people that got arrested has had the charges dropped because the witness didn't show up in court.
Thought a crime ever occurred. None of those people ever wanted to see criminal charges brought against Alex.
You are just hearing from the attorney representing Alex Chervinsky, the guy you're looking at right there. A judge dropped the case against Chervinsky today. This is months after he was charged in connection to last summer's downtown brawl.
WCPO 90's reporter Valerie Lyons was there inside the courtroom today. She joins us live downtown. Val, you were inside the courtroom because that trial was supposed to start this morning.
Yeah, Adrian, city prosecutors said they needed 2 key witnesses to move forward, but for the second time, those witnesses did not show. So when the defense asked the judge to drop the case, he agreed. Relief in the courtroom Tuesday after Alex Chervinsky learned he wouldn't have to stand trial.
The charges shouldn't have been brought in the first place.
That's Douglas Brannon. We spoke with him minutes after a Hamilton County judge dismissed the case against his client.
We're really happy about the outcome.
Chervinsky was charged with disorderly conduct for his alleged role in last summer's downtown brawl. Video showed him slapping a man before the chaos escalated. Because Chervinsky was also identified as a victim, Cincinnati police didn't name him, citing Marsy's Law protections. It took time for us to learn of his involvement because the city solicitor's office, which filed the misdemeanor charge against him, kept his case sealed. Last fall, a city spokesperson also cited Marsy's Law as the reason. Brannon says the city never had strong evidence.
He is going to help the county prosecutor assist in the prosecution of those cases that are currently pending in the common pleas court. And that's where the focus of this case needs to go at this point, to make sure that the true criminals are held accountable for the assaults that they committed on these people.
So he'll be a witness in those cases?
You bet Alex will be a witness in those cases.
I am not impressed with him as a witness.
Clyde Bennett is representing Dakira Vernon, one of the 7 other defendants. All but one is set to be tried in May. And unlike Travinsky, Vernon and the others were charged with felonies not long after the brawl.
Did you feel a sense of injustice and imbalance as it came to the charges there?
Absolutely. It's crystal clear that that man should have been charged with the same charges as everybody else because of his conduct, because of what was recorded, what was actually seen. He should have been charged with rioting.
Everyone saw it.
Now, a few witnesses did show for the prosecution, including 2 CPD detectives and interim police chief Adam Henney, who at the time of the brawl was the District 1 captain and signed off on the charge against Travinsky. And that move followed calls for justice from black leaders who said police were quick to charge black people, but not the white man they say incited the brawl. Reporting live downtown, Valerie Lyons, WCPO 9 News.
Seems pretty clear to me. Going back to our statistics on black people, kind of wild that our racist system run by white people produces statistics that seem to show that black people are more violent. We just saw an example. The white guy was the instigator. Agreed, he should have faced the same exact charges as everybody else, but no, he got a lesser charge. Why? Why? Because he ended up getting his ass beat? I am going to hit the content warning. This is some wild video. It apparently happened in Portland, I think.
Disturbing footage this morning of a man being pushed multiple times toward a moving train at a light rail station. You could see it right there. Yeah, just terrifying. The suspect, Alicio Melendez, was in court yesterday where prosecutors argue this was attempted murder. But questions are swirling over whether or not he is competent to stand trial. Cairo 7's Jack Bilyeu has more.
Terror on the rails. This footage shows what prosecutors are calling attempted murder. You can see a man in dark clothes standing around on the platform. When he sees a train's about to approach, he shoves a passenger who's looking at his phone straight towards the tracks. That passenger manages to stay standing, then the man shoves him again and runs off.
Your Honor, this is State of Washington versus Alicio Melendez.
That had been me. I would have stumbled right into that train. I would have fallen, no problem. Maybe that would have been my saving grace. I would have fell before the train. He would have shoved me. I just would have went straight forward.
That man is Alicio Melendez. He was arraigned Tuesday morning, but a judge ordered us not to show his face after his attorney argued there were still questions over the suspect's identity.
We still have a identity issue in this case, also based on the generic nature of the clothing.
Investigators say they visited a mental health facility near the light rail station, showed an image of the suspect to an employee, and that employee identified the man as Melendez. Detectives say they found the clothing from the surveillance footage in his room, but a judge agreed the clothing was generic.
I do believe that there remains a question regarding identity.
The judge's haircut.
No photo ID or montage ID or show-up ID that was done that I can tell.
If you're a wrestling fan, that judge's haircut reminds me of Kane after he got unmasked. He had like half of his head shaved. And it's the haircut this judge is sporting.
There were also arguments over Melendez's competency. Prosecutors say he had a bench warrant out of Renton for assault and was found incompetent to stand trial after allegedly stabbing his sister in the stomach. After the attempted murder arrest, he reportedly told investigators someone might have stolen his clothes, suggesting the person responsible was, quote, my twin that I don't have. The judge ruled he'll undergo a mental evaluation.
Based on Defense's representations regarding interactions.
I mean, that makes
with the
perfect
defendant,
sense.
Collateral sources, as well as the defendant's prior history of incompetency. I'm going to order the 1077 evaluation.
I have. I've got the video. I've had it for days. Just doesn't seem important in the scheme of things. I did kind of want to parlay it with the judge, with the trans attorney. How people are taking the side of the IT worker. Oh, that judge was out of line. Shouldn't have talked to the IT worker like that. Oh, you don't see how the judge was out of line with the trans attorney. I'm going to skip this one too. I'm going to come back to this. Some other time. Oh, it did have a video. Never mind. Nah, we'll still do it some other time. Over the weekend, outside of Philadelphia, this is in the Logan Township of Pennsylvania, a racing event apparently got out of control.
Chaos at a Gloucester County speedway. People from all over the area receiving emergency text alerts to steer clear of the Bridgeport Speedway immediately. Thanks for joining us at
You do, and you'll clean it up.
Here, I'm Sheba Russell. Police blaming an unpermitted event attracting as many as 25,000 people from as far away as Massachusetts over the weekend. Here's our Kelly Rule with more.
So that's what
the
she's
owner
doing
is
now.
Apologizing to the community tonight, saying once they realized this car show event was not what they expected, they began to shut down access to the event. And they say there were no issues on their property. It was the unexpected levels of traffic spilling into the community. Neighbors tell me they've never seen anything like it.
State Police helicopter here.
The small rural two-lane Rapapo Station Road in Logan Township leading up to Bridgeport Motorsports Park transformed into this Sunday morning into the afternoon.
I had 100 people in my driveway, and people were all over this road.
Charge them a $5, make some money.
With nowhere to go. Everybody was on their porches just wondering what's going on.
Logan Township police say just before 11 a.m. they got calls for vehicle complaints like speeding and passengers riding on vehicles. They say they learned an unpermitted event, Import Expo, was taking place at the Speedway with no prior notice or approval to Logan Township or law enforcement. And police say an estimated 25,000 people from as far as Massachusetts
25,000
began parking wherever they chose, exiting and walking to the venue.
All the people.
Cedar Vale Winery had a front row view.
The event started at 12, and the line was still out here the entire day, basically.
Okay, I can understand the cop's position, the city's position on that one.
No idea.
No, we had to shut down.
At first, I thought they were just being buzzkills, but 25,000 people? Holy fuck.
Everybody has got to go somewhere. And that was the biggest issue, that there was nowhere to go. As a whole, everybody was very courteous walking up and down the street. I mean, we were all nervous because it was just too many people for our little neighborhood here.
The traffic extending to 295, even the ramp to get off the highway was blocked for miles. Police say they had to call in backup, including state police, to help with traffic and crowd control and reports of intoxication, disorderly conduct, and fights.
Oh, yeah.
It even led to an emergency alert set out telling people to disperse.
Sure,
On
they were having a
Facebook,
good
the Speedway
time.
posted a lengthy apology saying they worked with police to take steps to close access and eventually shut the entire event down after learning this event was not what they expected as a facility. Volunteers helping to clean up left behind trash at the park today said this outside event had nothing to do with the family-friendly races they're known for.
They've got to vet out the promoters better, because I don't really think the Speedway owners were aware of how big this thing was going to get. And by the time they realized it, it was much too late.
By the time they
say one
realized
man
that
was
people
charged
were
with
outside of the
disorderly conduct,
speedway.
and several municipal ordinance violations will be filed, but they would not comment on why the emergency alert went out to so many people outside of the township. We did reach out to Import Expo for a statement. We will bring you their response once we have it. Reporting in Swedesboro, I'm Kelly Rule, Fox 29 News.
I think this is Seattle, or maybe this is Portland, and the train story from earlier was Seattle. I might have things. One of those Pacific Northwest towns.
Washington County investigators are giving us a better idea of what exactly led up to the shootings at a converted airplane home in Hillsboro. Well, officials tell us deputies were actually on the way after getting a call about a party there before two people were shot.
Two teens have now been detained. We want to know more about a history of concerns at this specific
airplane
property
home
as well. Ariel Salk live tonight with some new details. Ariel.
Yeah, neighbors tell me that they are fed up. They say that the parties have gotten worse over the last several years and they're ready for a change.
It's growing into a big nuisance now.
This airplane house has been here for decades and has been a site for many events and concerts over the years, according to the owner.
It's always been his big joy to have this airplane and show people around, but now it's kind of getting tired.
Over the weekend, the Washington County Sheriff's Office tells me they got multiple calls that around 200 teens were partying and drinking alcohol at the airplane house.
In this case, deputies are on their way to go disrupt this party.
When a deputy got to the property, he says he heard gunshots. That's when more 911 calls began flooding in, saying two people were shot. Two people were hospitalized and is expected to survive. A 16 and 17-year-old boy were detained in connection with the shooting.
The way you're telling us this story is people didn't start shooting until the cops got there. So was it the cops that opened fire?
They got multiple
also, how
calls
cool is this fucking airplane house?
that around 200 teens were partying and drinking alcohol at the airplane house.
In this case, deputies are on their way to go disrupt this party.
When a deputy got to the property, he says he heard gunshots. That's when more 911
he heard
calls
gunshots because he's the one that shot.
Two people were shot. Two people were hospitalized and is expected to survive. A 16 and 17-year-old boy were detained in connection with the shooting. Neighbors tell me there are a lot of parties at this location, saying the music plays all night and sometimes into the morning, and the littering is a big issue.
The police have shown up numerous times to shut them down.
The owner of the property, Bruce Campbell, is in Japan, where he lives part-time. After the shooting, he says
Bruce Campbell owns the airplane house. I'm assuming it's not the same Bruce Campbell who lives in Japan.
Into changing the rules, including age limits and drinking bans. But is that enough?
I'm hoping the county's going to do something to maybe step in, or the neighbors are going to have to step in and say, you know, Bruce, what's the deal? Because if something happens to Bruce and he's in another country, then we're kind of stuck with anybody can show up and start partying.
I asked the sheriff's office if they have any plans to better monitor the property for parties.
It's probably kind of early in the thought process for, you know, what comes next out there, but it's certainly a good idea.
I love that it's on a hill and they've got it level.
To the owner, Bruce, to see how he's responding to some of his neighbors' concerns. We are still waiting on a response. Mind you, he is living in Japan right now, and there is a significant time difference. Reporting live in Hillsboro, Ariel Salk, KOIN 6 News.
And they were right there next to the power pole. That's how they got hooked up to power. It's perfect. I would live in an airplane house. A girl in Arizona has been missing for over 3 decades. You've been found
A
alive.
decades-old cold case in Arizona has now been solved. A 13-year-old girl who disappeared nearly 32 years ago has been found alive. The Gila County Sheriff's Office says she had, quote, vanished without a trace from her community. Joining us now is NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz, who's following this one. Liz, what have authorities said about who this woman is and how she went missing as a teen?
Yeah, hi, Kate. So this woman was 13 years old at the time. Her name is Christina Marie Plante. And according to reports at the time, she was last seen walking from her home in Star Valley, Arizona, which is a rural community about an hour and a half northeast of Phoenix, walking from her home to a nearby horse stable where she had a horse. And that was the last anybody had seen of her, and that she vanished and disappeared. It prompted a huge search at the time locally with law enforcement and volunteers out handing out flyers. But unfortunately, no leads developed, and this case went cold until now, 32 years later, and authorities say they have confirmed her identity and that she has been found alive now at the age of 44.
And Liz, this case went cold, but as I understand it, it was never closed. What do we know about how she was found?
Yeah, so it was never closed. It's one of those things where they always, tried to, find new leads if they could. But we don't really know a lot about the circumstances for how she was abducted and what's happened over the past 3 decades. Police in their statement said that they're withholding more details of this case out of respect for her privacy and her well-being. We were talking to experts who said, look, it's speculative. It could have been that she's been held captive this whole time. It could be she wasn't, but somehow she was told a different story and just recently on her own discovered her identity. Perhaps it could have been a runaway situation, although news clippings at the time do say that they believe she was abducted by a stranger. So a lot we still don't know. But it does show you how advances in technology can help, because the department did say that they were able to utilize new technologies to find this and to resolve this cold case. And we do have a statement from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which, Kate, I know you've done stories on. We've talked a lot about this.
Yeah, you want to respect their privacy and everything, but goddamn, I want to know what happened.
Nancy Guthrie, and they say in a statement, cases like this are exactly why we do what we do. No matter how much time passes, even decades, we never give up. Because of technology, we're seeing more and more breakthroughs in cases once thought unsolvable. Kate.
All right, Liz, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or watch live on our YouTube channel.
That's like a record for Tom Lamas tonight, isn't it? That was like the 6th time. Maybe 6, 7. There's been a lot of speculation about this man going around saying that he is a Trump supporter and he would like to set the record straight. He did not vote for Trump in 2024. He voted for Afro Man.
Afro money making marijuana smoking MAN. And there's a lot of people out there under the impression that I voted for Donald Trump. I ran for president in 2024. I voted for myself. Me and Donald Trump both spoke at the Libertarian Convention in Washington. I met him. We took a picture. You know, I'm a sport. I'm a gentleman. I'm a player. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't hate players. I hate the game. Hey, but anyway, we spoke to each other. We shook hands. I ran for president. I voted for myself. I'm not with 100% immunity for the people that tried to sue me. I'm not with 100% immunity to the people that stole my money.
He knows Donald Trump ain't gonna help fix his door.
To me, with or without whatever immunity they got right now. Can you imagine 100% of that? I was not with that. I ran for president. I voted for myself. That's who I'm with. I'm taking everybody's money at my shows and when I sell merch and this, that, and the other, but I voted for Afro Man. I was trying to make weed legal all over the United States of America. So get it right.
He's a one-issue politician. It's all about the green. Wants weed legal, wants to make money.
Right. Thank you.
To him. It's apparently ferret day, so we're gonna get a ferret video. I'll go find us a ferret video. But this is breaking news. I had Warlord sent out a breaking news alert yesterday for this story.
It was a rather grim end for a mouse. Larry the cat went hunting in the building just behind the camera, which is the Foreign Office. You may be seeing footage on the screen of him going hunting now. You'll see him slide under the gate of the Foreign Office there shortly. And then he went away and came back. Came back with minutes with the actual mouse in his claw in his mouth. He pulled it across the road.
Video is freaking ferrets. It's literally
the
titled freaking
next door
ferret.
to the doors of Downing Street in long grass. We couldn't actually see the gruesome end for the mouse, but perhaps that's the most interesting thing that happened today in Downing Street.
Oh, goodness me. Because it's not an AI-generated mouse and cat, is it? Just out of interest. But no.
And going back, I was just saying...
You're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
Hello, Mr. Justin Freakin. It's your favorite furry incel.
DM?
Yeah, that's me.
No fucking way. Dude, I was just thinking about you the other day. I was like, oh, whatever happened to DM? He hasn't popped in today in a while.
I'm not online much anymore. I work now.
Good for you, man.
I just wanted to call in and say, screw Trump. He is screwing over our country. I just wanted to also say that this war is going to assure Democrat win in the midterms, and very likely is going to cause Democrats to win in 2028. This war is screwing over Republicans for a good long while. But screw Trump, screw MAGA. I'm done with it completely. I'm not even like, I'm kind of done with it. Like, maybe I'll come back. Like, no, this is the end.
Well, let me ask you something, DM. Do you think that Trump is going to do something to try to interfere with the elections? He's pushing awfully hard for the SAVE Act.
Possibly. I don't know. It's hard to tell right now that even will get through. I don't even think the Senate will let it get through. Right now, I'm more concerned about the war, and I'm more concerned that if Republicans do win in the midterm, they might reinstate the draft, which I don't want. And I'm also pissed off because one of the things that Trump talked about was not going to any more foreign wars. We're done with the foreign wars. We're done with all that nonsense. And now look at what we're doing. We're in a war that has nothing to do with our country whatsoever, and we're basically in the same place that we were in the 2000s with George W.
No,
Bush.
we're going to invade Greenland, and we're going to invade Cuba.
We're going to invade... I don't know how many countries we're going to invade.
It's hard telling.
But I wanted to endorse who I would like to run for president, and that is Graham Plattner. I don't know if you've ever heard of that guy or not.
The Senate candidate in Maine.
Yeah, the Senate candidate in Maine. I think he's the guy who should run for president. I don't know if he'd win or not, but that's right now my favorite new candidate.
Well, at the moment, he needs to concentrate on winning in Maine.
True.
I think the primary is in August, or do you know the date?
I don't know, but I think he's likely going to win. They're saying he's not, but I think he will.
I think if he wins the primary, there's a very good chance he wins the general.
Yeah, I don't think that Susan Collins is going to hold on to her seat much longer. She's already hated by most Republicans, and same thing that happened to Christian Sinema and whoever that other guy was.
The only thing I will warn against is I've heard the same thing about Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski for like 15 years now. People have said the same thing going into every election with both of them, and they both end up barely winning somehow. So I wouldn't count Susan Collins out.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I think Graham Plattner is a good candidate.
He's an excellent candidate, yeah.
Yeah, think he'd be great on the presidential stage if he could make it, because right now I don't feel like we have a good representative. I want to see what left-wing populism will actually do. We haven't seen it yet in the country. We've seen right-wing populism. We've seen left-wing establishment. We have seen right-wing establishment. We have not seen a left-wing populist, someone who will make massive economic popular policy. And I'm watching Graham Plattner talk to Republicans, and it's shocking how much he agrees with a lot of them, but his ideas on how to fix problems are different, which I think is very
But
appealing.
also keep your eye on New York
But
City.
Trump-
It has been a resounding success for the first couple of months of Zohran Mamdani.
Yeah, New York is interesting. All eyes are on New York to see what happens there.
He's done a fantastic job thus far. A lot of media has been trying to like tear him down, like, oh, he's got a $4 billion shortfall, but like he came in with like a $20 billion shortfall, and he's turned it around that quickly.
Definitely. I'll also just genuinely say, as far as the MAGA movement goes, I think that it's going to die after Trump. Here's the reason why, and it's pretty obvious. If you go back to like the 1900s, back in the day when who was the guy's name? When Teddy Roosevelt ran third party against William Howard Taft, when the Republican Party split, that automatically caused Democrats to win. That very same thing is happening now with MAGA, where MAGA is now what is considered the establishment, and a lot of Republicans are breaking away to this more extreme America First platform, which is taking away Republican voters.
I just don't see that being salient. Because like with Pam Bondi leaving, she got fired, humiliated, and she still kissed his ass on the way out.
I'm not really talking about the people in the administration. I'm talking about the voters. Like, there's a lot of voters in MAGA that are not going to vote for a MAGA candidate. They're leaving to go to a more extreme right-wing populist fringe, which is going to split the Republican Party in 28.
Okay, fair enough.
The whole America
Maynard,
First.
Stop. Sorry, Mater was like scratching the door, making a really like nails on a chalkboard noise. I'm like, cat, stop.
But I think after Trump, MAGA is going to be dead, and I think that the Republican Party is going to split in two, with the people in MAGA voting one way and the people in the Nick Fuentes camp voting another way, and Democrat is going to win in 28. I don't know who that Democrat will be. I'm hoping it's not Gavin Newsom. I'd like somebody a little more populist than that, but
I would think
just wanted to come in and give an update.
With Pam Bondi now getting the axe, Ro Khanna now has a little more momentum. He was one of the big proponents, and like I'm in a lot of Thomas Massey groups, and they're all cool with Ro Khanna because of the Epstein shit. So I wouldn't count out Ro Khanna in 2028. There's also
Is that a candidate for president?
Yeah, he's a congressman.
I've not heard
He's
of
the
it.
one that co-sponsored the Epstein Transparency Act with Thomas Massey.
Oh, okay, that guy. Oh, I see what he looks like. That'd be interesting to see him run. It'll be an interesting primary season when we get into it, but we have to get through the midterms first and see what happens.
There's also Andy Beshear is the Democratic governor of a solid red state, Kentucky, and he's very popular.
That's true. That's true. He may be good too, but for me, I want somebody who's got a little bit of that Bernie Sanders vibe from like 2016. That's what we really need to put into the Democrat.
Brother, I don't
for
know that Bernie
actual-
Sanders isn't going to be in the primary.
No, I don't think Bernie Sanders somebody like
No.
Not
Bernie
him
has made all of the moves that you would make if you're running for president in 2028. I'm just saying that as someone who has observed politics for decades now, Bernie has made all of the same moves that you would make if you were running for president.
So you think Bernie is going to run?
I've been saying that for like a year now.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. But the thing is, he's really old. Like, can he actually survive like a full 8 years? That's a genuine
I don't know
question,
that he
but-
would want to even, he may be a steward for one term the way Biden said he was going to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, like,
we'll see.
My thing is, like, AOC isn't ready yet. She's probably going to go for Chuck Schumer's seat, and I really want to see it. I think AOC would be effective in the Senate. So
yeah, I think she'd be. But
I could get behind a Ro Khanna. I could get behind an Andy Bashir. Gavin Newsom, if it comes down to it, I'll vote for Gavin Newsom. Here's the weird thing about, like, everybody seems to hate Gavin Newsom. Democrats, Republicans, everybody, except people that live in California, because I have several friends that live there, and they all love him.
I feel like he's just another Bill Clinton. Like, the vibe he gives, he just seems like another just establishment, polished guy that, is just going to slide through by talking bad about Trump. But here's the thing. All Democrats talk about is Trump bad, but I want to hear, like, actual policy debates. Like, the stuff Bernie Sanders talked about, like free health care, paid family leave. What was some of the others? Lower minimum wage, like lowering housing prices. That's what we actually want to see. I don't want to hear all of the policy about I'm not Trump. Like, I want some candidates with some actual ideas, which is why I love people like Graham Plattner.
Well, here's the thing is, like,
going out there. But
I kind of disagree. Like, I take you to task on the Democrats don't have a platform. It's all, orange man bad or whatever. That's like a right wing framing. Like, I can tell you did Harris do a good job of running on her platform? No, but I can tell you what her platform actually was. The proposals that she had from the housing credit to the small business credit, and it was mainly tax credits. What it was.
You are talking to someone who was a right winger for a while, so I'd love to actually hear what the platform was from a left wing perspective. If you could let me know.
It was a $20,000, and like it was absolutely targeted at me. It was a small business credit of $10,000 and a first time home buyer credit of $20,000. If I remember, I smoke a lot of pot, and it's been like 2 years at this point. But it was a substantial credit for both of those to be able to start a business or to be able to buy a house.
Makes sense. That's not a bad idea. That sounds better than the tariffs, because one of the things Trump did is he said he would.
She did a horrible job of selling that policy. Bernie does a great job of. So you go on a talk show. A talk show is going to ask you about whatever the topic is, which is probably what stupid shit Trump has done today. What shit, like, Bernie is great at taking whatever question it is, kind of answering it, and then circling back to, like, the people need health care, the richer fucking people over. Like, Bernie is great about redirecting it. Harris couldn't do that. She would have to, blather on about Trump for 20 minutes. So that is why you kind of had that perception, because that's the way the media operates. The media is going to do the personalities, because that's what actually sells.
Graham Plattner does a good job at selling policy.
Man, he's not gonna fuck you. I'm sorry, DM.
I wish.
I didn't mean it that way, man. I'm glad you came around. I always love hearing from you. And I really did. Like, seriously, just a couple of days ago, I might have summoned you because I was thinking, like, oh man, I haven't heard from DM in a little bit.
Yeah, I don't go online much anymore. I've got a job. I produce music and stuff, and I work for a company by cleaning and working my way to go to music school, so I'm kind of getting out of the political commentary
fuck yeah, man!
world.
I'm rooting for you. If you would like to share some of your music with us sometime, like, drop on by. Are you still in our Discord?
Yeah. I think so, but I'm not on Discord a whole lot. Like, I've kind of left the Discord world to a degree.
Russians will steal your info.
Yeah, I also think there's too many weirdos on Discord that.
Oh yeah, I'm on there and I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, we all know that.
DM, my friend, I'm rooting for you. I'm glad you're doing well, brother.
Yeah.
Stop by.
Have you heard from what was that one guy that shouted out your show? That one right winger that called you like a macho man.
Oh, Matt Walsh on the Daily Wire.
Yeah, I still cannot believe Matt Walsh referenced you in his video. It's just It's just kind of funny.
I love it. I still use it to this day.
All right. Well, anyways, thought I'd just call in because I don't know, all this war Iran stuff has just been pissing me off lately, and I'm like, I gotta find a place to talk about this. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where I'm gonna go.
Well, I appreciate your perspective. You just got me like right at the end of the show.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, have a
Good
good
hearing
night.
from you, man. Give us a
work.
shout back sometime.
Sure,
Have a good
will
one,
do.
DM.
Bye-bye.
Hell yeah. That was awesome. Good to hear from you, my friend. All right, it's National Ferret Day. Let's get some ferrets. Freaking ferrets is literally what the video is called. You want some freaking ferrets? Sports cards, you're correct. Don't underestimate the Democrats' ability to screw things up. Here's you some freaking ferrets. A lot of people don't like ferrets. I don't get it. I like ferrets. They're cool. Talking about how much I like ferrets, and then Maynard comes over like, oh, pet me. Seriously, Cat, you gotta stop scratching the door. Twitchy people, it is leftist mafia. I'm gonna send you guys over to, and you know what? You guys have suggested I asked to be on. Lance has been really good to me. That's why I'm gonna send you over to Lance from the Surfs. You know what? I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm gonna ask to go on leftist mafia. I'm gonna get up with Lance. So that's what I'm gonna raid into them. Light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you Sunday night on the Troll Patrol live.